Cowboys blood. Let's go.
Oh my God, the quarterback is toast. Hit it again. Hit it again.
Let's go.
Hit it again. Hit it again. Oh my God, the quarterback is toast. Hit it again.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's Frisco Report. We're going a little early here. We're going on Saturday morning action here. Gotta talk about the Cowboys, man. We got a game here that has some meaning to it, and then we're gonna talk about what's coming up here next for the Cowboys. Cowboys, have they done enough this season? We'll take a look at our draft picks, some moves that we made. Has this team done enough, Mike? So. Welcome everybody in the chat box. Shout out to everybody that's joining us live here. Mike, how's it going, my bro of bros?
Good, brother. Shout out to everybody in the comments section. Stevie Mac, King Trill, Jason Renfro. Big shout out to everybody in the comments section. It's our first show of 2023. Joe, Happy New Year to you, sir. Happy New Year to everybody in the comments section. It's basically playoff football time. It's basically playoff football time, Joe.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody, man. This is the Frisco Report coming at you live here for the new year. Talk about playoff football, right, Mike? So that's basically the conversation we're going to talk about. But before we get to that, Mike, let's talk a little bit about this Washington game that we have here tomorrow. What is your gut instinct here? Do they get the win? Does everybody play the full 4 quarters? What's your thought here? What are you hearing?
No, listen. Mike McCarthy talked about no one's going to be watching a monitor. As soon as he said that, I said someone's watching the monitor. You have to. You have to know the magnitude of this game, right?
Yeah.
If the Eagles are 30-0 as a score against these Giants, right, they're not going to play these starters all 4 quarters. All right. Now, if it's 24-24 and it's the 4th quarter, best believe you're going to see our starters out there. So, it all depends on the communication between who's watching that game and the sidelines, all right? Because if the Eagles are destroying the Giants, which they probably will be, all right? Giants is a fraudulent team, all right? And our starters are going to get pulled. So that's what I'm watching for. I'm going to probably be watching both games. Or my focus is going to be 100% on Cowboys, but I'll be pulling up my NFL app looking at that Philadelphia game.
Yeah, man. I think you hit it right on the head, bro. It's there'll be scoreboard watching, and it's definitely when they go into the locker room at halftime. I think, just like you said, depending on what the score is it a close game? Is it a blowout? Did they pull their starters? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I think you hit right on the head. We'll see what they do. Cowboys. I think either way, I think it's good to keep the juices flowing. I'm kind of like back and forth with it, man, because we've seen the Cowboys struggle when they sit players. We see them not do anything when they play with players. Sometimes when they play the players, they do get the momentum. So it's kind of like you really don't know.
You really don't. You really don't know each and every Sunday, Joe, with these Dallas Cowboys. You really don't know.
Yeah, it is. So we'll see what they do here. $2 super chat here from Devin Garcia. Puros Cowboys a la verga. McCarthy. Greater than the Clapper Ginger, no doubt about it, bro. Back-to-back 12-win season so far. That might go to 13, right? So, yeah, man, McCarthy back-to-back playoff appearances with Garrett. It was like every other year, every 2 or 3 years. It was terrible. So, thank you, Devin. We really do appreciate that super chat from you, brother. Appreciate you, bro. Mike, the concern about this team, however, and I think we'll get a good preview of this, is the starting O-line. Let's talk about the O-line starters here. What can we expect here in this game? Are we going to see, kind of what we saw at the end of the Titans game. You know what I mean? Where you got McGovern at center, Tyler at left guard, Peters at left tackle, and of course the GOAT, Tyron at right tackle. So is that what you think we're going to see on the O-line?
You could, Joe. Matt Forniak is practicing. He could be elevated. They did cut. Oh crap! What was his name? James Washington. For Matt Forniak to replace him. Matt Forniak has guard and center flex. So depending on how Jason Peters feels, Joe, that could be the lineup. How they ended the Tennessee Titan game. But if they want to save Jason Peters and keep that reassurance, they could put Forniak at center and then Tyler Smith back at left tackle and McGovern back at left guard. So, there is some of that, some depth flex that Forniak can give you there. And so depending on that Philadelphia Giants game, that's where you can see some rotation there.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's true too, right? So you get Forniak back from he was on injured reserves, right? That's what it was, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So it's probably a good idea to get him some snaps, and maybe if he doesn't start, maybe depending on how the game goes, maybe give him some garbage time in the third, fourth quarter, something like that. I think it's good to get him some reps for sure, game reps. So, but I do, you know what I mean? Biadasz, Mike, what's the latest you've heard on him as far as his recovery? Have you heard anything in regards to him being ready for the Tampa Bay game?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was just an ankle sprain. Thank goodness it wasn't an ACL roll-up or anything of that nature. And it looks like him and Jonathan Hankins will be ready by playoff time.
And that's a big thing. That's a big thing there to get Biadasz back. That really, gets the O-line back to where they're going to be able to, do their thing, as they say. So hopefully that will be the case. Hopefully there's no setback, nothing like that. We know that I think it was one time Biadasz had like a pregame hamstring pull or some crap like that one year. So, knock on wood, these guys can make it through, and we get that O-line fixed because the way that I see it going, Peters, Tyler, Connor, I just don't like that. I definitely don't want to see that lineup for the playoffs. Man, it's a little bit scary. So, Biadasz definitely had a better year this year, man. I think he made a little bit of a leap, finally, and played relatively well. I think you can say the same for McGovern. McGovern definitely outplayed Connor Williams.
By a mile, Joe.
It's crazy how many years we just kept Connor in there, Williams, just because he was a second round guy. He was not good. He was terrible. But yeah, man. Any concerns from the chat box as far as like your O-line? Do you want to see that Titans O-line that we had at the end of the game in the playoffs, or not? I don't. So guys, let me know in the chat box how you guys feel about the O-line in there. Mike, let's talk about the other side of the ball here. Micah Parsons, he's got the club, in the hand. I wonder.
Not no more.
Yeah. So looks like he's coming along with that as well. So that's a good sign as well. I mean, he's still effective, right, with the club, but
he recovered a fumble with one hand, Joe.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Sean Lee when he picked off Eli Manning. The same club, the same hand.
Yeah,
and Sean Lee came up with the club in hand and picked off Eli Manning. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's these guys that just have another level of talent. I mean, they continue to show it. But now we're talking, Micah Parsons, playoff Micah Parsons. What do we need out of Micah? As far as like, in the playoffs, Mike, what is your expectations? What do you want to see? What do you not want to see?
I don't want to see the excuses, Joe. I think Micah Parsons throughout the last half of the year has really thrown out a lot of excuses where I'm playing more DN than linebacker. If you want to take my spot, let's see how many sacks you get. It's a hard position. They're game planning me. Yada, yada, yada. Listen, DeMarcus Ware is a Hall of Fame finalist, all right? Do you think he made those excuses? Absolutely not, Micah Parsons. It's time for you to buckle that chin strap and go 100%, just like Tank Lawrence does. Tank Lawrence goes 100%. He might not sack the quarterback, but he's chasing down players who are 10 yards ahead of him and making plays, and you don't hear any excuses coming out of Tank Lawrence. Micah Parsons needs to develop that Tank Lawrence mentality and stop with the excuses, because it is getting to me just a little bit from number 11.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I think it's been said before. These guys that have this kind of star power, or they're kind of regarded as upper echelon players on the team. They got to step up, right? So Micah definitely falls in that category. Unleash him. You know what I mean? Move him around. Take advantage of the disadvantages of the other team. And I don't know if part of that is Dan Quinn or what it is, but I want to see them kind of what they did earlier in the season. You know what I mean? Like put them up. Use them. As this. Take advantage of the other team's weaknesses. Line them up against the backup. Whatever you need to do. You hit it on the head with Tank, though, bro. Playoff Tank is he plays different. We've seen it all the way back to his rookie year when he had the Detroit game, the fumbles, the recoveries. He always shows up in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So, playoff Tank. I think that's where I want to see Micah. I want to see Micah kind of take that role where there's a difference, right? I mean, Tank has had a good season, but when he's in the playoffs, Tank goes to another level. And that's what I do want to see that out of Micah this year. You know what I mean? Year 2 for him in the playoffs. I want to see that. So that's what we got, bro. That's what we got, my bro. Man, the other part of this, Mike, that we got to talk about, we do have back-to-back, 12-game seasons, playoff appearances. Looking at this season versus last season, has this team done enough as far as like roster moves, draft picks to be better than what they did last year? Can they go to the next level, divisional round and more?
I don't think the depth is an issue here, Joe. I really don't. They just Xavier Woods, former Bills cornerback, to the practice squad, right? Nashawn Wright has been stepping up in that corner position miles upon miles better than the motion penalty fat, all right? I like, our backfield, our linebackers, our corners are stepping up. Our D-line's getting healthier with Jonathan Hankins coming back for playoff time, right? The problem, Joe, is the inconsistency of this football team, all right? It ain't the depth. I don't think the depth is an issue. I think Kellen Moore is so inconsistent and so cartoonish with his play calling, and that's what's going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys. If they can't make a playoff run, it's because of Kellen Moore, all right? And you have to set up that running game. Do not get away from the running game. Dak excels in play action. Dak and T.Y. Hilton, I don't know what the hell the chemistry is, but I like the chemistry between these two, right? You have to put Noah Brown on the sideline, make Noah Brown number 4, swallow your pride to get T.Y. in here as number 3, and you're going to see bigger plays happen, right? So it's all up to Kellen Moore, and it's all up to bonehead clock management Mike McCarthy, Joe. That is how this team is going to either – and you have to be motivated. You're in a playoff game at AT&T Stadium against the 49ers, and you weren't motivated enough. This is playoffs. You're playing for the Dallas Cowboys. That should motivate you enough. I want to see motivation, Joe. I don't want to see sleepy Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. It's I think what it is, too, is that, Kellen Moore he struggles at times, with the game. And do we see Mike McCarthy, take a little bit more of a game planning? Now that we're to the real deal, this is one and done. You lose, you're out. So does he take a little bit more control, or does he let it just ride out with what he's got there with Kellen? What do you think, man? You think he's going to do a little bit more influence on the play calling for the games, or you think he's just going to let Kellen run with it?
He's going to let Kellen run with it. That's Mike McCarthy's motto. That's how he's done it the last couple of years in Dallas, Joe. So I don't see how he's going to change it. He's going to stand there with the big play sheet, look at it, cover his mouth up like he's talking, and he ain't going to do nothing, Joe. I'm tired of Mike McCarthy. Boneheaded decisions, all right? Now, he did get the Dallas Cowboys back-to-back double-digit wins. Hasn't been done since 94, 95. All right. He did get the Dallas Cowboys back to the playoffs, but none of that means nothing, Joe, if you can't win a playoff game.
Yeah, they gotta get the wins, and it's gotta happen this year. You know what I mean? Like it can't be another one and done, because then then it's definitely gonna open up the the conversations about is McCarthy the right guy? I mean, 2 back-to-back 12-win seasons, that's hard to do. You know what I mean? McCarthy would definitely find another job somewhere if they were to can him over that. But I think the Cowboys fan base, they're tired of the drought. You know what I mean? They're sick and tired of the drought. I know I am. I'm done with it. Like I love winning, but for the Cowboys fan base, the threshold is a Super Bowl, man. You know, can we get to a championship? Can we get to a conference championship game? You know what I mean? So I want to see that, Mike. And yeah, I totally get what you're saying with Kellen. If we do screw up, he's probably gonna be a big part of it. But defensively speaking, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the defense. Any worry here that the defense is going to lose some steam, knowing that Dan Quinn is going to probably be gone here, possibly to Denver? Do you see any kind of letdown from the defense here in the playoffs, knowing that Dan Quinn likely was probably going to go somewhere else?
No. These guys, man, like getting Jaron Curse in here has really set the mentality different, right? I mean, Jaron Curse tells it how it is. Like, we're grown men here. We have to make the plays. This is on us, right?
Yeah.
So the mentality of this football team, the makeup of this football team on the defense side of the ball, I think is something rare. Either we're going to get doomsday or our day's going to get doomed. It's going to be one of the two, right? And so I don't think that because Dan Quinn has the potential to leave, that it's going to mess up anything with this football team because of the mindset and the leadership of Tank Lawrence, Jaron Curse, right? I think it's the mindset of this football team is really, really, really good.
Yeah, and I think that hopefully that will indeed be the case. You know what I mean? So I do want to see this defense rise up to the challenge, because I think that they have to. You know what I mean? They always say defense wins championships. So let's see about that. Let's put that to the test here. They gotta have some killer instinct, Mike. You know what I mean? I like the wins, but they have been letting up a lot of points here lately. It's kind of like Marinelli-esque right now, where it's bend don't break, where they're giving up the points.
Well,
I want to see them. I want to see them shut that down. No,
I see your point there. I do. I think they were keeping demotion penalty fat in too long and trying to figure that out. I think Nashawn Wright has really stepped up in there. Mackenzie Alexander, I think, needs to get more reps. There's injuries that happen, and they were plugging and playing, trying to figure it out on what they wanted to do. And so I think now in the playoffs, Dan Quinn has seen enough from his players. Okay, he has the strengths to do this, but he has the weakness to do this. And so that's how Dan Quinn's built this defense. That's how he built this football team. So I think Dan Quinn will be playoff ready.
Yeah, he's going to have to be, man, because I think that could affect him. You know what I mean? Like, he comes out here and puts out a stinker on defense. Man, maybe some teams might have second thoughts. So he definitely has to keep it going to himself. So we'll see what this defense does. I definitely want to see us get back to how we looked here early in the season. You know what I mean? Um, Devin Garcia with another $5 super chat. Interesting stat today. Cowboys have not won a road playoff since '92 NFC Championship against the 49ers, 30-year drought. I want to say we beat Detroit at Detroit, didn't we?
No, that was 2014. That was at home.
We were at home in that game?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were a wild card, a division winner. We had our home game against Detroit.
And that's just an unacceptable drought. Devin, appreciate the stat there. That's crazy, bro. I mean, 30 years of not winning a road playoff game. That's just that's terrible, bro.
Well, how many times have the Cowboys been in the playoffs?
That's the other part of it. You know what I mean? But it's like if you're a true champion, man, you're gonna win on the road and get in there. You know what I mean? I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean the year that the dang Giants made it, and we had like home field and all this crap, they punched us in the mouth, and they took the hard road. They traveled all the way to the Super Bowl and beat the
as a
Patriots.
9-7 football team too.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna win the Super Bowl, you're gonna have to go the long route, and that's what the Cowboys are gonna have to do this year. I appreciate that super chat, Devin. Mike, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the path here. Okay, looks like it's Tampa, right? You got to beat the boogeyman. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the Cowboys versus Tampa Bay?
They're beatable. Like I said, man, it all depends on how Kellen Moore gets cute. Like they've already beat us twice in 2 years, right? Can they beat us in the playoffs? Can Tom Brady beat us in the playoffs? Tom Brady has never played the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. All right. Tom Brady 6-0, 7-0 against the Dallas Cowboys in regular season, Joe. In the playoffs,
Yeah,
he has he's only beat an NFC East team once in the playoffs. That was last year, I think, against Philly, if I remember correctly. So he only has one win in the playoffs against NFC East. Other than that, he has a losing record against NFC East playoff teams. All right. You want to pull up 7-0 stats. That's regular season. I want to talk about playoff stats here, Joe. He has a losing record. I think he's 1-3 against the NFC East in the playoffs, whether he was the AFC or NFC, right? So I like our chances in the playoffs. This isn't regular season football. All right. This is NFC East Dallas Cowboys playing against Tom Brady in the playoffs. And I like our chances. I do. I don't care if he turns on another motor. I don't care about any of that. The NFC East knows how to beat Tom Brady in the playoffs, and that's what we're going to do.
yeah, that's what they're gonna have to do. The other thing, I think, if you're gonna beat Brady, this is the year to do it. You don't have Arians. They're beat up across the board. I just don't believe in their head coach being able to win it. You know what I mean? So Brady, this is the final year of his contract, so he'll be a free agent after this year. I kind of get the gut feeling that he's ready to get the hell out of there. So I wonder, what version we're gonna get. But what's important is the version of the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Are we going to come out here and do what we've been doing? Slow starts, sloppy ass football. If that's what we're going to do, put the toe tag on, zip up the body bag, and we're done. You know what I mean? If they do that crap again, forget it. I want to see these guys come out here and set the tempo right out the gate. No bull crap, no stupid stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what your team's got to do, man. You got to take that next level. You know what I mean, in the playoffs, Mike. So I want to see the Cowboys do that. Hypothetically, Mike, Cowboys get past the Buccaneers, get to the divisional round. Could probably be San Francisco and that game there, depending on how the other games match up. What is your thoughts on that there at San Francisco?
Listen, to be the best, Joe, in the National Football League, you got to beat the best. And I'm quoting Ric Flair. All right. I'm tired of seeing. I don't want to play Tampa. I don't want to play Green Bay. I don't want to play the 49ers. Well, I don't want to see the Philadelphia Eagles in playoffs either. Then who the hell are you going to play? The Giants? Is that your Super Bowl if you beat the Giants? Come on, people. You're going to have to see these teams. You're going to have to see these teams regardless, right? To be the best, you got to beat the best, all right? And I don't care who's in front of us, Joe. The Dallas Cowboys have to be motivated, and they have to take care of business. We can go through every scenario. Oh, if we play the 49ers, but if we play Green Bay, and then Tampa Bay, we're going to play them regardless. If they're the better team, and if we're the better team, we're going to see these teams. Let's buckle our chin strap. Let's play some freaking football. Period.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I mean, that's what it is, man. That's exactly what it is at the end of the day. They got to do it. You know, if they're the real deal, they got to go through this path, and that's the path that it's going to be. Got to beat Brady. You're going to have to beat, San Francisco. If they trip up, maybe the Cowboys even host a home game, somehow. Maybe it's the Packers or somebody. Like, they're going to have to play probably 3 teams that they have struggled with. So, I mean, it could be the Bucks. It could be, San Francisco. But I think I have full faith in the Cowboys beating the Eagles, though. I do believe in that full on. So, just give me those 2 wins, and if the Eagles are still standing, then that's okay. I think we can take them out. So let's see what we got, man. One thing for sure, though, bro, they cannot go into this game with Tampa how they've been looking here the last 3 or 4 weeks, because that'll get you the big L.
No, absolutely. The turnover bug. I know some ain't on Dak Prescott, some are on Dak Prescott, but guess what? The Dallas Cowboys are still turning the ball over. They fixed the penalties, and here comes the turnover bug. Like, the Cowboys have to figure out that balance, all right? When Cooper Rush went 4-1, the defense got us 4-1. Cooper Rush just had to make some plays to get us there, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Green Bay Packer game and the Jaguars game, those Dallas Cowboys can't win those football games, all right?
Yeah.
I don't even want to see the Minnesota Viking game where we beat them 40-3. All right. I just want to see complementary football on offense, defense, and special teams. If you can give me that, you're winning the playoffs. Period.
Yeah. And that's the key part. All 3 phases of the game. Special teams is important. Get Kelvin off the damn.
Get him. Just cut him.
He can't. He just needs to be benched at this point, man. Because too many special team penalties. Turpin kind of struggles at fielding the ball at times, bumbling the ball at times. Yeah, I mean, he has some here and there where he'll break away like a 20-yard one. You know what I mean? But like you said, Mike, like you kept saying, he made it through the preseason. The preseason got him that Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he's
a
preseason Pro Bowler.
He scares me, bro. He's just little. Bumbles the ball.
Yeah,
we can't have that. So they got hopefully we're able to coach him up and get that corrected. But like I said, at this point of the year, you are what you are. There's no more corrections to be made until we get to the offseason. So what we have right now, let's see what we can get going here. So we got a couple questions here in the chat box. We can hit up Mike real quick. We did see the Cowboys. They did sign Xavier Rhodes to the practice squad. Obviously that's going to get a lot of hype or whatever, but it's practice squad. He's become a journeyman. He's not, your early in his career Xavier Rhodes. That's not the player you're getting. You know what I mean? So people will hype him up. Oh, Xavier Rhodes, shut down corner, this and that. If he was that, he wouldn't be a journeyman, bro. Like, quit the bullshit.
I already seen on Twitter 3-time Pro Bowler Xavier Woods signed with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, mention his age, mention how many years he's been in the league, and then let's talk Pro Bowls.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely good for depth, right? But I don't want fans to expect you're getting the early in the career Xavier Rhodes, because you're not. You're just not. So take it with a grain of salt. I mean, it's good for them to get the depth and this sort of thing because you're going to need it to get through, this playoff run. Injuries do happen and this sort of thing. So that's what it is. That's what it is indeed. All right. What else we got here in the chat box, bros? Oh, people love that. People love the little Turpin. Get all butt hurt. Whatever, man.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah, that's what happens, man.
Yeah, you're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk. I know.
They want to put their head in the sand, bro. I mean, he ain't gonna be here next year. they just don't have anybody right now. But yeah, man, great conversation, Mike, as usual. We love it. Let's get out of this Washington game healthy.
Yes.
Most importantly,
big key.
So we're all gonna be watching, right? Let's see what they do. How we look at the half. What's the score of these other games, and we'll take care of business from there, Mike. But what you got left, Mike? You got anything else before we cut out here?
No, guys. Hey, big shout out to Damar Hamlin pushing through, fighting for his life there. Was able to talk to the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Just the community of sports, right? We critique players and, we do all this and that. But at the end of the day, we don't want to see anybody get hurt. Especially we don't want to see anybody die on the football field, right? It's insane how powerful the NFL community is. I mean, just his charity shooting up millions of dollars, all the prayers sent. Just we talk as football fans, we talk a lot of crap, but we know when to come together. And to see Hamlin bring it back together and be there with his family and be there for the Buffalo Bills and still healing, I think it's really good for him and his family, but it's also shows you because the NFL has been struck down with so much hate the last 5 years with all the kneeling and all the protests and racial injustice and stuff. But to see everybody come together as one for Damar Hamlin, it squashes all that hate over the last 5 years or so. It just squashes it all. So big shout out to the NFL community and big shout out to Damar Hamlin, who won the game of life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was definitely one of the scariest things I've ever seen. So great to see him recovering. We'll see how he comes along. If he's able to return back to football or not. But the best thing is, like you said, Mike, he's got life. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. For the rest of the way, guys, we do appreciate you guys checking us out here on the Saturday special, the Frisco Report, and we'll be back with another episode here leading up to the playoffs. So you can expect us coming back here to talk some more playoff football. And that's it from now. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already, bro.
Absolutely. Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube, guys. I think I'm like 57 away from 4K. So if you guys ain't subscribed to Cowboys Corner, check out a couple of videos there and hit that subscribe button if you would for your boy. All right. _ Cowboys Corner 1 on the Elon Musk page. All right. I follow the back. And let's go Cowboys.
Let's go Cowboys indeed, guys. But that's all we have for today. We'll see you for the next one. Bye. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.